Hi. Uh, I just want to talk about these really cool plants that I have. Some of you might know what they are. Some of you might have no idea or never seen them or heard of them before. These are succulents, and they are called, well, these are the living stones, and these are the lithops. They are super cool, and I really like them, and I've grown both from seeds so far. So let's take a closer look and I'll tell you why they look this way and a little bit about their care and what they need.
Here, we're going to look at our Pleiospilos. Those are those guys, aka living rocks, because they look kind of like rocks. Uh, these are from South Africa, and this one is the purple variety of this one. The green one will give like an orangey flower, and the purple one gives off a bright pink flower. And there was some hail damage from this guy, but he recovered and he's doing okay. Kind of a bummer because that growth in the middle grew for me. And this one is growing a new growth for me too. But when they're growing their new growth, you really should, oh, there's the hail damage. You really should cut back on watering so that the outer leaves nourish the inner leaf and it just looks like one rock. Here are the baby Pleiospilos, and you can see that, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. You can see they're getting their little living rock looking leaves in the middle. So that's exciting. Here they are again. When I grew them, I just misted them and let them dry out. The key is don't overwater them. My filming is awful. The number one killer of these little succulents is water. Yeah, so you have to treat them like they're in a desert. Give them a good amount of light. The seedlings don't need as much light, but you can gradually increase the light, and they'll greatly appreciate that. My bigger ones spent the summer outside in direct sun, direct southern sun, and they were okay. Um, Direct eastern sun was the best for them. The seedlings are going under LED lights at the moment, and just don't overwater them. Learn when to water. In fact, I really just sprinkle them with water every once a week, maybe give it 2 weeks. They really don't need much water. They've adapted to live in deserts, so less is best with them. These are the lithops, aka living stones, because they look like little stones. They are also from South Africa, and they have adapted to look like stones, which is just amazing to me. They are a succulent, so they are full of delicious moisture that animals would love to eat, but the animals don't find them because they look like stones and they lay very low on the ground. These guys can handle so much light. I had these guys in direct southern light and no damage. They're also living in leca beads in a clay pot. This allows for really quick drying and draining, but I can also put water in the reservoir and let it wick up for when they need more moisture during their active growing periods. Actually, take that back. Not during their active growing periods. When they're actively growing, you hold off watering. If they look kind of wrinkly at the top, then you'll want to water them more. But if they look good, don't water them. You can ignore these plants. They do better if they're left and ignored. If they start like this one's splitting open more often, you're probably getting ready for some new growth, and that's when you're going to have to cut back on watering altogether so that you don't get funky shapes. You want them to look like that, just like a little stone. And they're pretty hardy if you can control yourself from overwatering. I've killed a lithop from overwatering. Everybody does. So these little guys I started the germinating process on July 1st of 2017, and here they are now. July, August, September, October. So these are about 4-month-old lithops growing happily in a sand rock mix. The way I germinated them was I just sprinkled the seeds on the soil, and the seeds are super, super tiny. But I like this method better than this method. This is the cotton ball method. This is the sprinkle method. Cotton ball method was really great for watching them germinate. I was able to see the roots develop and all that. But with this method, they're already in the pan that they can grow in and mature in. With the cotton ball method, you have to repot them or transport them onto a soil that they can continue to grow onto. So at first I like the cotton ball method, but really in the long term, sprinkling them on a rocky, sandy mix is the best way to do it. To germinate them, keep them somewhere warm, keep them somewhere sunny. Now that they're older, I use the reservoir. I just put water down here and let it wick up. But during the germination, I would mist them every day. I would just mist them with a spray bottle, and then they would dry out. But every day I would mist them, once a day. And there's a teensy tiny baby. So I think I had 15 seeds, and I think I have 17 popped up. And at different, as you can see, this guy's just starting to sprout, and the other guys are more mature. They can take a little while to germinate. Some are really fast, and some might take a few months. Don't give up on them. Just keep misting them and letting them dry out. Giving them some good light. Keep them warm. Not too warm. I'd say 60s, 70s is good for them. Don't let them freeze. I had some discoloration now because they're growing under LED lights. But they're doing all right. Now that they're at this stage where they actually look like tiny adults, they're not like teeny tiny like the other one you saw, I water them when I see them get wrinkly. I really don't fertilize them much. I think I did some misting, like a mist fertilizer, just a really weak organic fertilizer. There's a grown-up one. They got a ways to go, but they don't need much fertilizing because they're coming from a really dry, rocky, low nutrient environment. So those are my Pleiospilos. Pleiospilos. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. And Lithops. Really fun little succulents to get into. Easy to take care of. If you're the kind of person that says, I can't take care of plants, I don't water them, then great. If you don't water plants, you should get these guys because you can just set them and forget them and then come back and look at them and be surprised that they're growing for you. Super fun plants. I'm really enjoying growing them. I want to get some more seeds and try it out. And you should, if you get the chance, try them out too. So happy growing till next time.